Oh, happy, joy, everyone. Jack Collins here, back at it again to bring you idiots another video. And this time it's going to be about my all-time favorite Nicktoon, and one that will probably never come back in this day and age, Ren and Stimpy. To give you all some much needed context on the cartoon itself, Ren and Stimpy was the creation of one John Kricfalusi, who, after frantically going through multiple pitches over at Nickelodeon, settled on Ren and Stimpy after Vanessa Coffey, an executive at Nick, liked their designs during one of John's other pitches. After a toss-up between Ren and Stimpy and Jimmy the Idiot Boy, one of his other creations, John decided to sell off Ren and Stimpy and keep the rights to Jimmy. But the rest, as they say, is history.
Know your fucking place, trash!
But that's what you think, bub! John was revealed after that to be a less than stellar boss to his fellow animators, as he often did things like rip apart their drawings in front of them while yelling at them, and even would physically assault and hurt his own staff when they didn't comply, or if things weren't his way. He was also notorious for missing deadlines, which led to many episodes being delivered late and not on time, such as the case with Stimpy's invention.
Happy, joy, 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 happy, joy.
He even clashed with executives over the show's gross and vulgar content that they thought crossed too many lines for kids' TV. Such as the episode Man's Best Friend, where at the end, Ren violently beats up George Wicker with an oar in a gruesome scene of brutal slapstick comedy. He even sent in a fuck you note to Vanessa herself after she sent in a complaint about the episode's content.
Stop crying, pussy!
It was due to this toxic perfectionist attitude, as well as brash behaviors towards the higher-ups, was when John and his studio Spunko were let go from his own show, and rightfully so, as he was then replaced with Bob Camp and the staff at Games Animation, who worked on the show until its ending in 1996 after the airing of A Scooter for Yaksmiths on MTV.
I am not.
I woke up in a new
Well.
Thus bringing an end to Ren and Stimpy once and for all. Or was it? If you want more information on the behind-the-scenes stuff and the other weird going-ons in John K's life, go to the Media Mementos video on him, or better yet, check out the Animaniacs Spunko-a-thon for more information on why John K is such a fucking lunatic. But anyways, back to the topic at hand. In 2003, Ren and Stimpy was brought back to the masses on Spike TV's animation block, alongside Gary the Rat and Stripperella, to less than stellar reviews from fans and even internet viewers alike for stuff that like the constant gross out, sex jokes, and everything else in between that made the show infamous more so than famous. But why is that? Well, let's take a look at it and see what the heck went wrong here. I gotta get this straight. Adult Party Cartoon is my Animaniacs 2020. Pretty much everything I can say about the show, many reviewers have already said, including the portrayals of one Ren Hullick and Simpson J. Cat. Now, Ren in the original 1991 show was admittedly crazy, but also had a soft side towards Stimpy that made them feel like true friends. This version, however, is a psychotic dick who shoots people off of highways with shotguns so Stimpy can give birth to a poop baby. And brutally kills Mr. Horse by beating him with a 6-shooter. There is nothing to like about this character. Not even a single thing that the 1991 version does better. Stimpy, on the other hand, they turned him into even more of an idiot and for some reason gay as hell for Ren.
Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay.
Which Stimpy never was in the original because he had his smart moments and wasn't as butt buddies as he does with this version of Stimpy, who was completely gay for Ren, even to the point of wearing a thong in Naked Beach Frenzy. It confuses me as to why they went in this direction, and it still does to this day. Like, what the fuck? All in all, the show wasn't a success, and after a few more projects, Spunko was closed down in 2005, and Ren and Stimpy were thrown to the wayside as the reboots never made it and never used again outside of cameos in video games and such, due to the Adult Party Cartoon's infamy amongst many in animation circles. So much so that when Bob Camp pitched a Ren and Stimpy movie to Paramount, they refused because of the whole adult party cartoon in general, and didn't want to associate with John because of what he did in 2018.
Hello there.
More information on that can be found in the 2 videos I listed above. And then in 2020, Paramount announced a new Ren and Stimpy reboot will be airing on Comedy Central, as well as Billy West coming back to provide the voices of both characters like he did on the original show when John K was fired from voicing Ren, with David K reprising his role of Power Toastman from the NES B games. And as of right now, it's been cancelled.
That's it?
Really? We're going through this again? A reboot of Ren and Stimpy getting fucking why? Well, this one more of a reason to go, thankfully. In a Facebook post, Bill Ray announced that when he, Bob Camp, and Jim Gomez came back to hopefully write and direct more Ren and Stimpy episodes for the reboot for Comedy Central, they were fired because of how they were old white men who had no idea how young and fresh humor had progressed.
Baba Booey. Baba Booey.
And executives had said to them multiple times in Zoom meetings and in private about how their new writers were better and made a better show to their faces, and about how the Ren and Stimpy curse continues to stay due to this misunderstanding of the original show. The show was eventually leaked in 2024, and to say that fans like myself were displeased was an understatement. This was probably the worst way to reboot Ren and Stimpy, period. As a writer-driven show with more emphasis on explaining jokes and just in general not feeling like Ren and Stimpy, really made fans consider the truth that the franchise is now dead. Adult Party Cartoon took a character that was once shocking and made it disgusting and unappealing, and this reboot took a cartoon known for its edgy humor and made it way too safe. For real though, it kinda sucks what happened with the reboot. Everything surrounding it kinda set up for failure. Like a big one was firing the OG crew because executives wanted new and hip writers, and yet they chose people who probably never even cared for the original show at all before being called in to write for the show. And even besides firing the OG crew, there was moving the production from Nick and making it for Comedy Central, and it being announced so suddenly, retraced frames, focusing on wordplay with visual comedy, piano teeth, etc.
Of course! If you get hit in the head by a piano, your teeth get replaced by piano keys. So if you get hit in the head by a skull, your teeth go back to being normal teeth.
Makes sense to me.
Especially the fucking piano teeth. Meanwhile, a bunch of the actual Ren and Stimpy crew are working on SpongeBob and SpongeBob adjacent stuff like the Patrick Star Show. And it's obvious that they do a much better job with the reboot than the new hip writers or whatever. I guess that they wanted to avoid what John K did to further separate the characters from him, but they went too far and lost the fun that every other artist gave to the original show, and that was probably the goal, but they absolutely failed, and unfortunately, I could totally see the same executives thinking that reboot's failure just means that people don't care about Ren and Stimpy, that it can't work in today's society, which just leads to them not using the characters anymore for any new media whatsoever. And I saw all of the episodes on the Internet Archive last week. It's incredibly mediocre at best and very boringly bland and safe at worst. I only wonder how it was ever intended for an adult network. It's so incredibly tame compared to the original series. I genuinely see modern SpongeBob episodes more edgy than that.
Can I touch it?
Because of how it doesn't really feel like you're watching Ren and Stimpy. It feels like you're watching a diet adult sitcom that happens to star cartoony characters or something. They ought to do Bob Camp's movie idea as compensation, but I'm not holding my breath to be honest, as Ren and Stimpy are fucking dead and that's fine. Also, that's the sad truth. I love Ren and Stimpy like my fellow online friend, Lovely Lively V, loves the original Animaniacs. It will always be the one show close to my heart, specifically the original. I hated the adult party cartoon because, well, for obvious reasons, but the original show pretty much had an impact on animation, and trying to recreate what made it work without any of the original sauce that made it so good was gone, as obviously seen in the adult party cartoon and this recent failed attempt at a reboot. It's time to accept that my favorite cat and dog duo are now dead relics of the 1990s. With no way to come back from the realm of things that will ever get a reboot, because while Nick has no idea on how to handle them aside from making appearances in stuff like games like All-Star Brawl 1 and 2 and stuff like that, because of how the creators' past and current actions and 2 dead reboots. I don't think that's ever going to happen anytime soon. Maybe someday, but not today, never today. I am hopeful that Bob Camp's movie idea makes it somehow, or maybe another reboot where he, Jim Gomez, and Bill Ray are involved for real. It must have sounded too good for it to be rejected on the spot by out of touch execs. This is Jack Collins signing off, and you must blur yourself from your screen for 30 seconds, or else Ren will come to your house and beat you with an oar while sadistically laughing his ass off. Hi. This is an editor's note. I forgot to mention that there's a collection of the OG games that just came out for Switch. As for if I'm going to buy them or not, well, we'll see about that, because I heard the games on there are pretty good, aside from Fire Dogs 2, or Fire Dogs on SNES. That was really ass. Like, really terrible. Ouch.
Now subscribe, you idiots, or I will rule the world with this kind of cheese whiz.
Oh joy, do subscribe, folks, or Ren will do just that.
Oh, sticky cheese will get in your carpets. Shut up, you idiot.